So there comes a point every few times a semester or academic year where it's basically a Hail Mary. You have tons of stuff that you have to get done, whether it's tests or papers or projects coming up. And this weekend is that Hail Mary. I've got a huge econometrics test that I really have not started to get ready for, and I feel like I'm going to have to study my ass off to do well on this test. Secondly, I have a draft prospectus due for my junior paper, which is also going to take a huge chunk of time. And then I have a philosophy paper. So basically what I'm saying is I have a lot of shit to get done, and yeah, it's time to get cracking. Alright, so basically how this test is going to work is it's the midterm 2, which is basically covering everything from chapter 10 to chapter 14 of our textbook. Now, it may only seem like 4 chapters, but trust me, these chapters are incredibly long. So what I've done is I have downloaded all the lecture slides. I've compiled them using Adobe Acrobat into one portfolio of all notes. It is literally 208 pages. So what I've done is a custom 2x2 horizontal landscape orientation. So I will have 4 pages per sheet, and then I'm going to print this. Where are you going, bro? Where are you going? Have you been in Stone? Alright, I've got all my notes for the past like 10 lectures, my textbook. These are going to go hand in hand. I'm going to be reading this while marking up these notes because these are a little bit more summarized. And hopefully that will be the best way to get me started on preparing for this test. Next up, I'm going to go over problem sets and do some practice things. So I can do this. Let's fucking get it. Woo! Alright, so I've been going through this textbook, and the more I go through these pages, the more I realize it's pretty helpful to actually mark up the pages on your textbook with pens and highlighters. So that's why I recommend buying like used copies, so you can definitely mark it up and make it your own. But this is just gonna help me remember things when I go back to review that I put in with these pens. Zach, any study tips for the people? Not to put you on the spot.
Don't take study tips from Nick Chae. That's my study tip, honestly. This man has, I don't think he even like read one page of that, honestly.
Bro, I've been on like this page for the past 20 minutes. Alright, I've been reading the textbook for about an hour now, and I've moved over to the practice test. So I printed out last semester's practice test. I have the solutions, but I'm going to try and solve them on my own, and we're gonna go from there. I found that another helpful tip that I've mentioned before in a couple videos is to look at things like the key concept, especially in textbooks. They will usually summarize and break down the main points of the chapter into bite-sized and manageable chunks that you can definitely look over and write down on your notes sheet. And at the end of the chapter, they will usually have a conclusion section where they summarize everything that they've talked about in the chapter. Things like key terms, key concepts, practice problems. So the end of the chapter is really the most beneficial thing, especially if you're on a time crunch like I am right now. Alright, I'm calling it wraps for today. I've been in this library for way too long, and I'm not being as productive as I could be. So we're gonna take a little break, maybe grab some food, and yeah, we're gonna pick this back up tomorrow. It's currently 5 p.m. the day before we take our exam. We're all posted up right now. It's kind of the Hail Mary of the Hail Marys. But we're learning.
We're learning.
We're making progress.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. So we're going through practice problems. We got the solutions in the notes, but we have a few more hours. Alright, so the one good thing about this exam is that we get a cheat sheet, meaning you can put whatever you want on it. So we busted out Photoshop, we put some practice problems on there. Hopefully this shit don't get me in trouble again, bro. How are we feeling about this test,
I gave up.
Honestly, bro, like let's just throw in the towel.
75 minutes and then I'm out and that's it. I'm done. I've been kind of nice about this for Keith. Shut up.
You were stressed. Hey, C's get degrees, bro.
Just a fact.
Alright, right now we're working on our 302 problem set. Honestly, this is so long and so hard. Like, we've been grinding this out for 2 hours and we've only done 2 problems.
This ain't it though.
This ain't it though.
Did I mess it up?
No.
Thank you.
I'm splitting. I'm splitting. Peace, boys.
Alright, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I've been grinding my ass off for the past 5 hours. Honestly, my brain's just so dead that I don't think I'm processing any more information. If anything, I might wake up earlier and do some last minute prep, but we will see how this final test goes. Thank you for joining this ride. Hope you enjoyed this video. Drop a comment, leave a like. Don't stress, finesse. It's so cold.